Today's topic that I would like to discuss is the mutual exclusion principle. Yeah, I have already discussed with this in the previous session of Raman spectrum, but I think I should have to be discussed in a more details and in a vivid way because this is very typical and we have to understand in a crucial point of view. So this phenomena, that is mutual exclusion principle, is related to the vibration of a molecules, means molecular vibrations, and is related, and because of this vibration how the dipole moment or the polarizability parameter changes depends on these things. Okay, so let's start. So in a molecules with a center of symmetry, it is seen that vibrations that are Raman active are IR inactive and vice versa. What does it mean actually? If a molecule has some center of symmetry, that means some symmetric type molecules. As for example, in the previous, you can take the example of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide have a center of symmetry. How can you know that? Because if a carbon dioxide molecule is a linear molecule, you just rotate it in 180 degree. Then what happened? The oxygen just change its position. Carbon atom doesn't change its position, and then you undergo a reflection through the carbon atoms. Then what happened? The oxygen again change to the new position, just exchange their position, and this new conformation is exactly same with the original molecules. That means this is called the inversion. Okay, so this type of molecule, that means if a molecule you can say just possesses a center of inversion, and that from that point if you move equal extent from both the direction, then you will find same atoms. That means from carbon, if I move both right and left direction equal distance, I will find two carbon atoms in the both the direction. Okay, so this type of molecules means having center of symmetry, and the certain vibrations that if they are appear in the Raman spectrum, that means they definitely, this particular vibration definitely will not appear in the IR spectrum, and certain vibration which appear in the IR spectrum, that vibration definitely will not appear in the Raman spectrum. That is called the principle of mutual exclusion. So in molecules with different element of symmetry, that means which doesn't have the center of inversion, so certain bands may be active in IR, Raman, or both or neither. Means suppose a molecule which doesn't have a center of inversion. As for example, I can take the example of water molecule because water doesn't have the center of inversion. So if water molecule, we know that it's a containing three atoms. So according to the principle 3n minus 6, as it is a non-linear molecule, so total three vibrational modes is available for water molecules. Okay, so among these three vibrations, all are IR active: the antisymmetrical stretch, okay, the symmetrical stretch, and the bending modes. And at the same time, by experimental fact, it is the experimental fact that at the same time all the three vibrational modes are also Raman active. That means uh, during vibrations, whatever vibration I have just mentioned, means symmetrical stretch, antisymmetrical stretch, or bending modes, both the dipole moment of the molecule will change periodically, and both polarizability of the molecule change periodically. That's why this type of vibrations, all the three vibrations will appear both in the IR and Raman modes. So for a complex molecules that doesn't have no symmetry elements, just for example take a very asymmetric type molecules which doesn't contains any kind of symmetry elements. Okay, as for example I can give the example of HCN. It doesn't have any kind of regular symmetry. Okay, so this type of molecules only have the identity element. That means if you rotate it 360 degree, then only same configuration will appear. Okay, this type of molecules. So for a complex molecule that has no symmetry elements except identity elements, all of the normal modes are active in both IR and Raman. These type of molecules, if they have different vibrational modes, and by laws, all the vibrational modes will appear both in the Raman spectrum, also in the IR spectrum. This does not, however, means that this can be observed. Means they are theoretically possible. Means both the vibration, whatever vibration is possible for this type of molecules, uh, they can appear in both Raman and IR. But experimentally, only few lines will appear. Okay, that we will discuss in the later section. This does not, however, mean that they can be observed in both types, mean in both IR and Ramans. The neighboring strong bands may obscure weak bonds, means the strong bands will compress the weak bands, while other may be intrinsically too weak to be observed. Means others should be so weak that you cannot observe in the either IR or Raman spectrum. And even if they are theoretically allowed, means even we know that theory says that these bands will appear in both IR and Raman, but because of this intrinsically low intensity, we will not find them. Okay. So in general, the strong band in the IR spectrum of a compound corresponds to the weak band in the Raman spectrum and vice versa. So what does it exactly mean? In the rules, we have just clear that for a centrosymmetric molecules, if certain vibrations is appear in the IR spectrum, then this vibration will not appear in the Raman spectrum. And for non-centrosymmetric molecules, there might be a possibility of the appearance of both the vibration in the IR and Raman. So, what happened experimentally when a molecule vibrate, whether it's a taking the example of centrosymmetric molecules, just for example, take carbon dioxide molecules. So, certain vibration which are appear in the IR spectrum, does it really doesn't means these vibrations which are not, why this type of molecule vibrations are not appear in the Raman spectrum? Because during these vibrations, the change in the dipole moment is so high and the change in the polarizability is very negligible. That's why its intensity is too low that you can't find in the Raman spectrum. That's why we can't see this type of vibration is appeared in the Raman spectrum, whereas only we'll find only the IR spectrum. But at the same time, when certain vibration which are very strong in the IR Raman spectrum, as for example the symmetric stretching, why doesn't this doesn't appear in the Raman spectrum? Because at that time the polarizability change is so high and dipole moment change is very low, we can't see in the IR spectrum. Okay. So this complementary nature is due to the electrical characteristics of the vibration. How? If a bond is strongly polarized, just for taking the example of a single carbon monoxide molecule, CO molecules, a small change in its length such as that occurs during a vibration. Means during vibration what happened, the molecule symmetrically stretch and compress. Okay. Will have only a small change in the additional effect of the polarizability. When the polarized bond only stretch or compress, then the change in the dipole moment is very high in comparison to the change in the polarizability. So, vibration involving polar bonds like CO, NO, or OH are therefore comparatively weak Raman scatterers. Means they are not fully that means they are not fully eliminate the Raman scattering, but they are so weak that Raman spectrum cannot find them. Such polarized bonds, however, carry their charge during the vibrational motion unless neutralized by the symmetry factors. That means such polarized bond when vibrate, they periodically change the dipole moment. Okay, unless the your dipole moment is nullified by this type of change. Now I just extend this concept to carbon dioxide molecules. Here you can see that in carbon dioxide molecules, both individual CO-CO bond have some bond moment. But in the carbon dioxide molecules, as we know, the geometry is 180 degree. Means both the CO-CO bond is exactly 180 degree to one another, each other. So when they are symmetrically stretched or compressed, then they actually change takes place exactly in equal extent in both the direction every time. So every time they just cancel out each other because of the symmetry or geometry of these molecules. Okay, so this thing just clear this topic, which results in a large change need dipole moment change and produces strong IR absorption band. That means if the symmetry factor does not nullify this thing, then this bond moment will appear in the IR spectrum. Conversely, relatively neutral bonds like carbon-carbon single bonds, carbon-hydrogen single bonds, or carbon-carbon double bonds, and carbon-carbon triple bonds also, means where the change in dipole moment between the bond is not so high, suffer a large change in polarizability. That means when they are vibrate, then the polarizability factor, that means the volume of this bond, you can say, is a takes place in a huge amount in comparison to the dipole moment, because dipole moment there is very slight change in dipole moment. This bond is totally non-polar, but this bond is very slightly polar, so this will not change a huge amount. Though this is less easy to visualize, means the small slight change in dipole moment is very less easy to visualize, but the dipole moment is not similarly affected, and vibration that predominantly involves this type of bonds are strong Raman scatterer, means this type of vibration where the dipole moment change is very very less but the change in polarizability is very high. This type of bonds is strong Raman scatterer but weak IR scatterer. So now I would like to show you the taking the example of a centrosymmetric molecules, and carbon dioxide is a very classical example of that, belonging to the D infinity H containing a C infinity axis which is just along this axis, and this is the C2. Okay, so in these molecules we will first try to find out how the different stretching modes and bending modes, and because of this stretching and bending modes, how the dipole moment of this molecule change during these modes, okay, during these vibrations. So first we know that carbon dioxide molecule is a triatomic molecule, so total 3n minus 6 3n minus 5, because it is a linear molecule, so total 4 vibrational modes is available. So here only 3 is shown because these bending modes, both the bending modes are same, that's why it's not shown in twice. Okay, so first I would like to show you the symmetrical stretching modes, because both the CO-CO bonds, these bonds and these bonds are symmetrically stretched, okay, and compressed, and because of that you will not find any change in the dipole moment, because this is exactly 180 degree to one another. So whether both the bonds are stretched, the individual bond moment increases, but they will exactly cancel each other every time because of this geometry of the molecules. But still here appears some 1330 semi inverse. This vibration is coming from the Raman, okay, that's so we will discuss later, or we have already probably discussed in the previous session. This frequency is coming from Raman, okay, this not from. So this vibrational modes is exactly IR inactive but Raman active. The next is the antisymmetrical stretch. Look, this bond, one bond, there is two CO bond, one bond is compressed and another bond is stretched. Okay, the ultimate dipole moment is along this direction, because this bond extends, so we know that dipole moment is the charge into dipole distance. So as distance b of this bond increases more in comparison to this bond, so the resultant dipole moment is work along this direction. So this is the antisymmetrical stretch, and in this particular vibrational modes the dipole moment of the molecule periodically change. Okay, so first instant this bond will compress, this bond will extend. The next instant the molecule will comes to the normal position, again this bond extend and this bond will compress. So the dipole moment will change periodically, and this will appear at 2349.4 semi inverse. This is the IR active mode, because here dipole moment change periodically. The third and fourth both are shown here in the same figure, because in first instant the molecule was in the straight position, and then carbon molecules moving in that direction, and the two oxygen molecules move in the upward direction. So this is the bending mode, and another bending mode where carbon dioxide molecules stay on the plane of the paper, and the two oxygen atoms first go downwards and then come and then go upwards. So both the bending modes are exactly same, that means degenerate, and they are appear at 667.3 semi inverse, and these are also IR active, because of this bending mode the individual bond moment first when they are when carbon atom stretch in that direction and two oxygen atom stretch in that direction, then the individual bond moment works along this direction, and again when the molecule comes in the straight position and in the opposite direction it will move, then the dipole moment again work in that direction. So in this way periodically the dipole moment will change. So because of this periodic change in dipole moment, this particular vibrational modes is IR active but Raman inactive, because there is no such change in the polarizability. Okay, now for the same carbon dioxide molecules I would like to show you how the polarizability factor changes and whether they are contributed in the Raman spectrum or not. In this time we will see only the change in the polarizability, not the dipole moment. Look, in the first the symmetrical stretching mode, this is the normal condition, it has the some polarizability ellipsoid like that, and when it's stretch condition, that means this figure, the polarizability is shrinked in size, means smaller in size, and the next instant when it is compressed, the bond is compressed, then the polarizability becomes very large. That means when the bond change stretching to compressed condition is arrived, then there is a huge change in the volume element or polarizability. This is very small, this is very high. Now the second vibrational mode, that is the bending modes. So I would like to say this is the normal molecules, it is a linear, so it has the same polarizability ellipsoid. When the carbon atoms are moving in that direction and two oxygen atoms in that direction, then this configuration will arrive, and it has some polarizability ellipsoid like that. and in the exactly opposite direction, when carbon atoms move in that direction and two oxygen atoms move in that direction, then the same volume element will arrive. That means when a molecule bend from this configuration via this to this configuration, there is ultimately no change in the polarizability. That means this bending mode will not give any fruitful result in Raman spectrum. That means this band will not appear in the Raman spectrum. Okay, that's why this band will appear only in the IR spectrum. This gives a huge change in the dipole moment but not in the polarizability. And in the third vibration, the antisymmetrical stretch, where we can say that the one carbon, this is the normal carbon dioxide molecules, and it has some polarizability ellipsoid like that, and in the first instant this bond is getting compressed and this bond is getting stretched. So there is a change in the polarizability ellipsoid, which is shown here. And in the next instant the opposite case will arrive. That means this bond will compress and this bond will getting stretched, and in that condition the polarizability ellipsoid also the same value. That means when the molecule go from this configuration via this to this configuration, there is ultimately no change in the polarizability ellipsoid volume. That's why this these vibrational modes are also Raman inactive, but it gives a huge change in the dipole moment. That's why this band appear in the IR spectrum. So only the symmetrical stretching mode, when the molecule move from this configuration via this to this, there is a huge change in the polarizability volume. That's why this band or these vibrational modes appear in the Raman spectrum. In the next example, we will show you how for a non-centrosymmetric molecule, just for example taking the example of water molecules, how the different vibrational modes, means stretching and bending modes, will accompanied by a change in the dipole moment, and whether they are appear in the IR spectrum or Raman spectrum, and how they are changing, it will be clear. So this is the normal water molecules. Okay, if in a but it has some dipole moment because the oxygen is more electronegative than hydrogen, so the ultimate dipole will work in that direction. So the when at a particular instant, means in symmetrical stretching, when the oxygen atom is stretched in that direction and two hydrogen atom will stretch in that direction, this will appear, and there we know that the bond is elongated. So because of this, the dipole length will increases and the dipole moment is also increases. And in the next instant, when the bond becomes compressed, means both the bond becomes compressed, then the dipole moment is change. That means when a molecule changes from this configuration via this configuration to this configuration, there is a huge change in the dipole moment. That means the symmetrical stretch of water molecule is IR active. Right now we are only finding the IR activity, means when there is a change in dipole moment. Okay, and the next example we will show you the symmetrical bending mode. Means this is basically known as scissoring mode. I have already shared a video for different bending modes, just to have a look. In the particular instant, this is normal water molecule, it has some dipole, and when the both the OH bond comes closer to each other, then what happens, this situation will arise. And there we know that because of this bond becomes little bit elongated, so the dipole will increases. Okay, and at the same time, if the bond is again stretched in the opposite direction, means when it is compressed and again it's going in that direction, though the dipole length will change. That means if the molecule is changed from configuration via this configuration to this configuration, there is a huge change in the dipole moment. That means this stretching modes also, this bending mode, sorry, also appear in the IR spectrum. And the third one is the anti-symmetrical stretching modes. Normal water molecule has some dipole moment, and one bond is getting stretched, another bond is getting elongated. So this type of configuration will arises. So the orientation on the dipole moment is changed. Okay, and the same times when the opposite bond is stretched and this bond is getting elongated, this situation will arises, and then also the dipole orientation has changed. That means there is a transient change of the dipole moment during the vibration or rotation. During the vibration, that means antisymmetrical stretching vibrations. So because of this also, this antisymmetrical stretching mode is also IR active, because there is a change in the dipole moment. Okay, now it's turn for the water molecule to find whether this symmetrical and antisymmetrical stretching and the bending modes will change of any polarizability factor, and if they change, then definitely these modes will also be Raman active. So this is the normal condition of water molecule, and it has some definite volume of element of polarizability volume. And when the bonds getting stretched symmetrically, then this condition will appear. And we know that if you strange any bonds, then the polarizability will decrease. You can take the example of a balloon. If you elongate the balloon, the volume will decrease. Means it looks like it is elongated and this volume is shrink little bit. But if you compress the same things, because this stretching means stretch and compress at the same time. So after getting stretch, when it compress, the polarizability ellipsoid will enhance its volume. That means if a molecule change from the stretch condition via the normal condition to this compressed condition, there is a huge change in the polarizability. That means this particular stretching mode is also Raman active. Next, I would like to see show the symmetrical bending modes, and these are both the bending modes are symmetrical, means the out of plane bending and the in plane bending. So in the normal condition, this the polarizability ellipsoid, and when it the OH is moved in that direction and oxygen is moving in that direction, then the molecule is getting a little bit flattened and the polarizability ellipsoid like looks like that. And when they are moving in that direction, OH and oxygen is also moving in that direction, then this condition will appear, and this is the change in the polarizability ellipsoid. That means if a molecule change from this configuration to this configuration to this configuration, there is a huge change of the polarizability ellipsoid shape. So we have to find whether there is a size and also the shape. So if the shape also change, then also this mode will be Raman active. That means this mode also Raman active. The third mode is the antisymmetrical stretching mode. Normal condition, this is the normal ellipsoid and this bond is getting stretched, this is elongated. So this configuration will arises and it has a polarizable ellipsoid in that orientation. Okay, but the size is not changed so much, little bit change. And the next configuration, this bond is elongated and this bond is compressed, and the polarity ellipsoid change its orientations. And we have to also keep in mind whether the polarizability ellipsoid change its value and also the change in the orientation will give rise to Raman spectrum. So this particular antisymmetrical stretching mode is also Raman active. So both the vibrations, means the whatever vibration is available for water molecules, the symmetrical stretch, the antisymmetrical stretch, and both the bending vibrations are both Raman active and IR active. That's why we can say from the mutual exclusion principle, it says that whether for a non-centrosymmetric molecules, both the vibration may appear in both the Raman spectrum and the IR spectrum, and this is the proof of this fact. Okay, and for centrosymmetric molecules, only certain vibration which will appear in the IR, they will not appear in the Raman, and certain vibration which are appear in the Raman, they will not appear in the IR. So these are the examples of this fact.